Detectives uncover clues in the hunt for the Wollongong killer. Policeman shot as he investigates drive-by shootings. And Clint Hallam's global adventure puts his hand transplant at risk. From National 9 News, this is Nightline with Jim Whaley. Good evening. Wollongong police believe they're edging closer to arresting 2 or possibly 3 men over yesterday's shotgun attack in which a man was killed and 8 people injured. A gunman opened fire, then fled in a 4-wheel drive vehicle which was found burnt out today in nearby bushland.
Wollongong businessman Martin Ansey had just left a restaurant in the city's main street when he was shot. At least 29 pellets remain lodged in his back, others in his elbow and arm.
I felt this whack in the back and actually I thought I was on fire. So I ripped the jacket off. And Narelle screamed out that there was blood and I'd been shot, and at that stage my knees gave way, I just fell to the ground.
A gunman had run across the road and fired 2 blasts in the crowded street, killing 33-year-old veteran Ravnik.
He was a single person, employed previously as an upholsterer, lived in a unit in Corrimal, close associated with his family.
Police believe they've made ground in the hunt for his killers.
We're following a line of inquiry which we believe is quite positive.
Witnesses have helped them compile sketches of 2 men. A third may also be involved. They've also recovered the getaway car, found burnt out in nearby bushland.
They drove it off the side of the road and probably torched it there.
8 people were injured in the shotgun attack. Danny O'Neill has 2 pellets embedded in his shoulder and leg.
It went in about good 2 inches and it's lodged up here.
A grandfather, Bob McDonald, remains in intensive care with shrapnel in his throat and chest.
And he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
24 hours after the shooting, police returned to the scene in the hope of finding more witnesses. Detectives won't speculate on the motive for the shooting, but at least one victim believes it was drugs-related.
They need to get the drugs regulated. When they do that, they can probably control the people a little bit more.
Raymond Dale for Nightline.
Another shooting today, this time a policeman badly wounded in Melbourne. The officer underwent 2 hours of surgery tonight and is in serious but stable condition. The alleged gunman, a suspect in 3 drive-by shootings, was also wounded as other police closed in on him.
Police pounce on the alleged gunman who'd exchanged a volley of shots with officers just seconds before.
Have 1 offender shot and 1 member shot, gunshot wound to the stomach.
Nearby and seriously wounded, 28-year-old Senior Constable Jason Stryger shot through the stomach after intercepting the man's vehicle.
I understand he's in a critical condition. He was conscious. I spoke to him. He was in pain.
Other police travelling close behind returned fire, bringing the gunman down.
There's a policeman lying next to the police car, holding his stomach.
Maybe a car chase, ending up in a bit of a smash and then a shootout.
As more police converged on the scene, 2 cars collided with passing motorists. The gunman was taken to hospital with wounds to his arm, back and buttocks. Police removing a pistol, a knife and ammunition speed loader from near where the shootout occurred. A female passenger from the car returned to the scene a few hours later to help detectives piece together the sequence of events. It's alleged the gunman's vehicle was involved in a drive-by shooting in Hawthorn this morning, which left the driver with stomach wounds. Police have also linked the car to a shooting in Coburg yesterday and will question the man about the wounding of 2 men in Yarraville on Sunday night. Sally Pickering for Nightline.
There's renewed pressure on Prime Minister Howard tonight to soften his opposition to heroin trials. As the National Council on Drugs met in Hobart, Victorian Premier Jeff Kennett was joined by one of New South Wales' top crime fighters in calling for a radical new approach to dealing with the heroin epidemic sweeping Australia. Laurie Wilson reports.
The National Council on Drugs admits it is a serious problem, made all the worse by the flood of cheap heroin onto the streets.
At the moment, there seems to be an upsurge in heroin deaths across Australia.
The New South Wales Director of Public Prosecutions, Nicholas Cowdery, is calling for a radical new approach. He not only supports a heroin trial, he's even suggesting that drugs use could be regulated, with heroin made available on prescription.
There are no easy, comprehensive solutions presently known. But let's start looking for programs that will work.
There's growing pressure from the states for a national summit on drugs. The Prime Minister isn't ruling it out, but he does remain steadfastly opposed to a heroin trial.
I don't believe heroin trials would improve the position. No, I do not.
Victorian Premier Jeff Kennett not only thinks Mr Howard is wrong on that, he's also critical of the Prime Minister's interest in a zero-tolerance approach to policing the drugs problem.
Zero tolerance is about moving the problem from one area to another. We've got to do something substantially more sophisticated than that.
Nicholas Cowdery says it would have no impact on serious crime.
It's an unrealistic slogan.
But the National Council on Drugs claims the Prime Minister was really suggesting zero tolerance of drugs in schools.
What I understood the Prime Minister to mean was he was using it in the context of the school, the approach to drugs in schools.
No drugs or no acceptance of drugs in school. It's an attack on drugs, not an attack on young people.
Elsewhere on the political front, the One Nation Party is facing renewed turmoil. Earlier this month, 3 Queensland MPs resigned. Now another 2 have been sacked by the party's executive.
We did have 11 members, now we've got 5 members, but I believe that we've got now 5 dedicated, loyal members, not people that just rode in on the coattails of Pauline Hanson's One Nation.
Jeff Knuth was given his marching orders along with fellow MP John Kingston after they failed to sign an oath of loyalty. Laurie Wilson reporting for Nightline.
A New South Wales policeman involved in a fatal shooting on Bondi Beach has admitted using cocaine. Rodney Podesta was cleared of any wrongdoing over the death of Frenchman Ronnie Levy, but told the State Police Integrity Commission he began using drugs to help cope with stress after the incident. Podesta and his partner, Tony Di Lorenzo, were secretly recorded allegedly buying drugs from a dealer. Di Lorenzo was arrested by internal affairs officers, but has denied any wrongdoing. An 8-year-old girl and her mother have been killed in a suspicious house fire at Harvey Bay in Queensland. A neighbour heard the girl screaming at 1 o'clock this morning, but neither she nor her 36-year-old mother were able to escape the flames. A car was heard speeding away from the scene, and police are keen to speak to the driver of a small white panel van seen parked outside the house shortly before the fire. Adelaide police believe a gang of youths is responsible for a string of fires, one of which almost turned into a tragedy. 8 brush fences were set alight. One spread to a block of home units, residents forced to flee. One flat was engulfed, the owners luckily away visiting family at the time. Other residents were almost trapped by flames and exploding gas tanks. Police warned that what might have been considered a prank almost cost lives. Gerry Adams was in Brisbane today, continuing his controversial Australian tour. Tonight, the Sinn Féin leader was given a civic reception despite some local objections. There, he urged Australians to help in the Northern Ireland peace process. Mr. Adams also extended his own hand of peace, offering apologies to the parents of an Australian man murdered by the IRA 9 years ago.
The IRA leader is in Brisbane as part of his fundraising drive for an Australian branch of Sinn Féin, the political wing of the IRA. It was May 1990 when Stephen Melrose and his friend Nick Spanos were killed in a hail of bullets by IRA terrorists as they holidayed in the Netherlands. For the first time, Gerry Adams today apologised for the murders.
And I do apologise to the Melrose family. I thought I made that clear, that I'm very sorry.
The family say the words help a little bit, but are still angry the IRA boss hasn't used his influence to have the killers caught.
No, he has apologised, but those who killed Stephen have not been condemned or dealt with in the way that the law deals with murderers.
Hundreds of people packed City Hall tonight, Brisbane's Lord Mayor throwing the only civic reception for Mr. Adams in Australia.
I will welcome to this city at any time anyone who is struggling to create peace.
Afterwards, a gala night at the Queensland Irish Association. Some club members had cancelled their membership in protest at the Adams visit, but the dinner was booked out. Warren Clark for Nightline.
After the break, Clint Hallam's international jaunts endanger his historic transplant hand, and big seas give lifesavers a rough day.
On a current affair, genetic engineering of our food.
They'll give us benefits above just normal nutrition.
Taking over what you buy in the supermarket.
Their safety has not been demonstrated.
So how safe is it?
Disaster waiting to happen.
Tomorrow, 6:30.
definitive coverage of the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games, look to the paper the world will look to. The Sydney Morning Herald, tomorrow's paper.
Metal bars designed to save your neck, designed to save your skin. The revolutionary Schick Protector 3D with ultra-thin safety wires. Now that feels good. Schick Protector 3D, the feel of smart design.
Your share investments help pay for this dream home. Unfortunately,